Hey everybody, welcome back to the Rise or Die podcast. This is yours truly, Stephen M. Lowisz, for episode 90. We're almost to 3 digits. This one's titled Move. I've had a really big, I guess you could call it just a kick in the dick today, both on the personal and business side. 2 different situations, basically 2 different kicks to the nuts. It's hard. Like, the stress is just brutal. We all have those days, right? Like where we get up. I got up super late. Normally I get up at 4. I got up at I think it was 6:45 or something. I don't even remember. I'm still kind of in a daze. But it's just one of those days that we all feel where it's like, fuck this. I'm done. Tapping out. And I've talked about this before. But today is just one of those days. And I'm not going to get into what the situations were because they're irrelevant to you specifically. But here's what I want to encourage you with today. Move. See, previously, when I was in similar situations where things just seemed to be falling apart, like everything is just going wrong, I would essentially be paralyzed with call it fear, anxiety, whatever you want. It's basically like nothing is going right. So instead of fixing one thing at a time, I'm just going to be like, nah, I'm tapping out. The end. I quit. Nothing's going right. Why even try? And it basically be like I was just, I lost all strength. I lost all desire and will in me. But then, and I keep mentioning this over and over and over, especially the last week or so, then I started to realize I need perspective. At the end of the day, I'm not dead. I don't have cancer. Nothing's wrong with me. Nothing's wrong with my wife. We're doing pretty well. We're not dying. We still have a home. Are things really all that bad? And I started focusing on what's the one thing that I can do to move forward today? Like just one thing. No more home runs. No more trying to fix everything all at once. Let's just go one thing at a time. What's the most strategic thing that I can do right here, right now, and then take action? And it's a really, going from you're basically on the ground with your nuts kicked in. Obviously, I'm being a little more dramatic today, but, emotionally, you've been kicked, you've been beat down. It's hard to get back up and say, no. I'm not done. I'm not quitting. There's no such thing as quit in me. I'm a warrior. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm going to go get this shit done. It's really hard to do. Really hard to do. And there's 2 principles that I want to bring to you. One is instead of bottling it all up, that's when we start to get the, paralysis, right? Paralysis of analysis. Start to look at all the shitty things going on and we get paralyzed. So, what I started to do is what we call in part of the stack, and again, this was coined by Wake Up Warrior, but it's called Release the Rage. Now, this is completely contradictory to everything that we learned in elementary school and growing up and so forth. You're just going to release whatever is inside, whatever words come out, whatever actions come out. You're just going to let fucking loose. You're going to get all the emotions out of the way. You're going to start to gain objectivity. You're going to start to move your emotions out of the way by actually letting them flow. So then we can get back down into reality. This is the first part of the stack. Now, I'm not going to get into each individual piece because that's what Invictus and Wake Up Warrior are there for. Too lengthy of a discussion for a simple podcast. But principle number 1 in all of this is when things are just going wrong and you feel essentially paralyzed, get the feelings out. What do you feel? Do you want to cry? Do you want to scream? Do you want to yell? Do you want to punch something? So I'm not one for Facebook, product gimmicks and whatnot, but my wife tagged me in some little product over in China that I thought was just pure fucking gold. And this product is sitting next to me right now. And it's essentially, think of a speed bag that boxers use, like it's a little bag hanging down and you hit it as fast as you can, hence, speed bag. Well, my wife Rachel found one that actually sticks like a suction cup to your desk. So then you can hit it like you're a boxer, and I used to be. And that's a good way to get my energy out. Like maybe it's something as stupid as that. Maybe it's doing burpees. Maybe it's screaming. Maybe it's crying. I don't know. But get your emotions out of the way so that you can gain clarity and perspective. So then you can follow principle number 2, which is just move. Keep on moving. And to be honest, I don't even remember where I heard this piece, but I think it was related to SEAL training because, well, I used to want to go into the SEALs, and I was a buff or SEAL buff, and all I wanted to do was read and watch stuff about SEALs. But I think it came from the SEALs. It's the idea that don't quit today. You can quit tomorrow. You can give yourself permission to quit tomorrow. But just make it one more day and then decide. And if you have that principle in your life of you keep on moving, hence the episode 90, move, then you're going to be okay. But you're only going to be okay if you actually gain clarity on what needs to happen. And to do that, you need to remove your emotions. So to keep moving, remove emotions by letting them flow, and then get your ass into gear. Knock out one thing at a time. Stop going after the home runs. Just hit a single and call it a day. Now, how does this apply to your life? Well, we all have things that essentially paralyze us. We all have things that really, it just feels like the world's taking a giant shit on us. If you can tell, I'm a little bit more intense and riled up today. We all have situations where we need to deal with the emotions and gain perspective and just fucking move. Are you afraid you're going to get fired from your job and you're paralyzed? It's like, well, I don't really want to work really hard at this job because I'm about to get fired. But if I don't, then I'm also going to certainly get fired. So like, what do? That's one possibility. Well, I think my marriage is on the fritz. You know, it's probably going to end up in divorce. So why do I even give a shit? I kind of hate my wife. But at the same time, if I don't invest in my marriage, well, then guess what? It's certainly going into divorce. Like, there's a lot of different situations that this applies to. But work, cross body, being balanced in business. Are you in a really shitty situation where you need to remove the emotion by letting it flow and then move? For me right now, it's business. It's definitely business. I'd say body a little bit too. Seems like the more I try to lose weight, the more I gain it. Pretty pissed. I don't know what to do. I do, but I really don't want to. So it's one of those things where like, do I truly just suffer through it? I don't know. Work, cross body, being balanced in business. Do you need to get rid of emotion by letting it flow and then move? That's what I have today for episode 90. Again, move. With that being said, send me any feedback, questions, hate mail. I don't really care at steven@invictus.co. In addition, subscribe at riseordiepodcast.com to some of our exclusive email content. We're ramping that up, by the way. We're going to start releasing a whole lot more content here in the next week to 2 weeks. Lastly, share this podcast with someone that needs a little kick in the ass every day, just like you get from me, someone that you want more for out of their life. That's it for episode 90. I'll see you tomorrow for episode 91.